Hello and welcome to the channel, YouTube world. I've been wanting to do this for a few days, but I really wanted to get some more time into the game before I start going on a convoluted noob first impression-ish review. Yes, I'm playing footage from IGN, as this footage has been deemed okay, and I just can't play the game and talk at the same time, so we'll just kind of let this be the focal point. Don't focus on me surrounded in flames. The game is a lot of fun. It was 8 years in development. It's an open world like no other. It's incredibly dense, filled with memorable characters, impactful gunplay. The melee is amazing. The loot system is really neat. You can craft. You've got skill points. You can't just go and steal a car. You got to build up your muscle in order to pull people out of a car. You've got to build your technical skill in order to hijack a car so that you could steal it and you don't smash the window. You can own cars, but you have to buy them. There's no car dealership. Keanu Reeves is in the movie. You get to play as, or in the movie, in the game, so you get to play as him. It's a lot of fun. You should maybe check it out on Steam, try it for a couple of hours and see if it works well for you. Because the game runs like a pile of dingus poo. That probably made no sense, but it did to me. You see, I had an argument with people on Twitter. So Carrick from ACG, who brings you reviews that aren't 2 minutes long or filled with sponsored bullshit, said that, he's having a lot of issues and there's nothing to agree or disagree with. That's his own personal experience with the game. I said that, despite this being like a diamond in the rough, that's what this is. Just like The Witcher 3, when it first came out, it was a diamond in the rough. It was a shitfest. I said that it's very playable for me and that I'm enjoying myself. I'm happy with my purchase. I'm 20 hours into the game now. And I had a bunch of people go, "It's not playable, brah. Check this out, bro." And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're playing on a base PS4, you punk ass. Like, of course it's going to run like shit. You got a 7 or 8-year-old console. Now, don't get me wrong. Every game that's released on a certain platform should be playable. I get that. And I wasn't arguing that in the least. But everybody has different hardware. And I said that. And someone was like, everybody that's got a PS4 has the same internal hardware. I'm like, but not everybody's playing this fucking bitch on a PS4-based machine. I have a PS4 Pro. I got a PC. People can have an Xbox or an Xbox Series X or a 1X or a 3X to the power of 2 for all I fucking know. Do you know what I mean? So even within the consoles, my point is this game as an entity, Cyberpunk 2077, no two people are playing it the same way. I could promise you there's probably not another person on the planet that's got the exact same setup I've got. The same RAM, the same operating system with the same apps running in the background, at the exact same graphical settings with the same CPU, the same graphics card tweaked the same way that I have. And that's what I mean. It's the synergy. Your mileage will vary. Yes, probably everybody, PS4, 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 are all going to relatively have the same experience. And even within it, a glitch could trigger here that somebody else doesn't get. The glitches and bugs are dynamic. And there's a lot of them. People's heads disappearing, people randomly, falling out of fucking buildings and splatting on the ground. I don't know if that's intentional, like a suicide or something like that. I've seen cars just magically fall from the sky. Audio starting, starting to do that kind of weird thing. Choppiness. And it's really annoying. But I'm still having fun. That's not me giving them a free pass. It's not me excusing the bullshit. that this was 8 years in development, I feel like console players especially got the shaft because it's more atrocious there than on PC. On PC, if you've got like a monster computer, you can sort of slightly kind of overcompensate, you know, for the bad optimization. It's like being bad in bed, but you got a 12-inch pecker. You know, you're good at one thing, but not another. And I had to make that reference with the dick because there's a lot of, sexuality in this game, but that's another discussion for another day. But all in all, I wanted to get this game and I don't regret it despite all its bugs and its flaws, especially because I'm a small time nobody content creator. And that's what I do. I pull the trigger, I take the bullet, and I see what it's like. I see if it was worth it. I see if it's worth your money. Actually, you get to see if it's worth your money based on what I say and other people around me. And for now, I would not advise anybody on any console to buy this game. There are people on the PS5 and Series X. See, there's some weird shit going on. That are having an incredible amount of fun, and they're saying they're not having that many issues. And that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not having any issues, I mean, hopefully you're paying attention to the gameplay and not just my face. There's a lot of these weird glitches, but, ultimately, the game is running. I haven't found any game-breaking bugs like in, Watch Dogs Legion when it first came out, or Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Multiple times that I come across game-breaking progression bugs. Again, I'm not saying there aren't any in this game. I haven't come across any after 20 hours. So it's been smooth in that regards. The frames can drop, and again, that probably is because I have a 7-year-old CPU. I've got an i7 6700 non-overclocked. 16 gigs of RAM, DDR4. I've got the game on an SSD. Oh, I had that happen to me in the elevator too. Same glitch. Yeah, anyways. But I've got an RTX 2070 Super. But if you've got patience and you're on board with the hype, this game is everything that you wanted it to be. Unfortunately, it comes with a little bit more than what you were hoping. But that's not detracting me from enjoying myself. It's not an excuse, though. This isn't like WWE 2K20. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, that game was like literally unplayable. That was just like, how was that even allowed? Mind you, I am going borderline with almost asking how this was even allowed, because I saw some footage of the console, some more footage of the console. My initial impression was that it was pretty decent, and I don't know what happened with the new update that came out there, like for launch day, but for some people it seems to have made things even worse. So, if you've got a half-decent computer, you want to lock it at 30 frames like I did. I got everything on Ultra at 30 frames because I can only push the game at about 40 or 50 frames. And I'm just like, whatever. 30 is fine. And you want to try it for a couple of hours to see how it is for you. You get a refund on Steam. Just kind of get a feel for it, you know what I mean? See if it scratches that itch that nothing else will. For me, this game is unique. Yes, it's an open world shoot 'em up with loot and cars that you can buy and run people over, and it's got side quests and main mission quests. So like on paper at a quick glance, I can make this game sound generic like a lot of other games. But once you start playing it, just the way it feels, this is unlike anything I've ever played before. Of course, we can start, nitpicking through some similarities to other games. But this is a great game. In terms of the fun factor, because I am having a lot of fun, I would rate the game almost a 10 in terms of fun factor. But as an overall product, I almost feel like they need to be judged, based on being almost deceitful. Actually, not almost. I will go as far as saying that they have been deceitful. Why were we never allowed to see console footage? Why were a lot of reviewers given? Think about this. The end of this video is the most important part. Why were reviewers told what footage they could use? Now, sometimes that's because, video games will have like crazy moments where you switch characters, like in The Last of Us Part 2 is the absolute epitome of an example. But you're still allowed to use some of your footage. There's just certain key elements that you're not allowed to show right away. This game 100% when it came out, the likes of IGN, GameSpot, they were not allowed to use any of their own footage. And all the gameplay that you saw was only PC. Now we know why. Because this is borderline 2K20 bullshit for console. If the game is only going to perform well on mid-cycle last-gen consoles, so like your Xbox One X and your PS4 Pro, like what I have, then do that and make it so that it's exclusive to those platforms, and make it so that the base Xbox One and the base PS4 cannot buy this game because it averages at like 20 frames a second. That's inexcusable for such a big company. It really is. And, I don't know much about the politics. I don't know why this is where there's like a due date, and then the developers have to rush, do crunch time, which I think is a term where people work overtime illegally, push themselves into the ground trying to get this game out so that it's out on time. This game has been delayed as well a few times. The fuck's been going on for 8 years is what I want to know. And why is it that if it doesn't meet the street date that it's like the end of the world? Why could this game not have been released on like early access? This game to me is like an early access title. I've played early access games that function better than this game. Okay? Just release it as early access. Early adopters maybe get, 20, 25% discount. I don't know. And then as the game ages and progresses, then you can have a final release date. Why can't they do that? This is not a finished product. The game is not finished. It's not. That's not up for debate. It is just not. However, I do not regret my purchase. I am pleased with my purchase because, like I said, I am getting something out of this that nothing else can. If you eat an apple, you're not going to get the same nutrients as you do from a banana. That was really weird, but I know what I meant by that. So I recommend this game if you have the utmost patience and you remember the Witcher 3 fiasco. A diamond in the rough. It took some polishing and it got us there. And they did an amazing job in the end. But this should not have been released in the current state that it's in. I am not going to argue that at all, not one bit. I could keep ranting on and on and on, and I won't because I doubt anybody's going to make it this far into the video. So I'm going to end it here. If you liked the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. It helps support the channel with the algorithm and tells Google, who owns YouTube, let's have this guy be a little bit more relevant and climb him up the ladder of relevancy so that when people search for stuff, he's more likely to come up in searches. If you don't like me, you don't like the video, then go ahead, give it a thumbs down. It's not a big deal. I'll just break it off in your ass. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, that would be well appreciated. And like, a lot of people are like, make sure you like and subscribe, guys. I post daily. That doesn't mean anything because if your content is crap, who's going to want to see crap 10 times a day? You know what I mean? Just because you like this video doesn't mean you like me. Doesn't mean you like my channel. Yes, I'm ranting. Anyhow, and if you don't subscribe, that's perfectly fine. No guilt trip there. Thank you for stopping by anyways. How's that? I thank people for just stopping by because every view counts, right? You can have millions of subscribers, but if nobody's watching your shit, those subscribers don't mean nothing. It's the people watching your content that matter. Anyhow, hopefully I'll see at least some of you in the next video. Take care, boys and girls, or whatever it is you identify as. Bye for now.